December 26th. I'm Trisha Turner. This is the Walk Away Wealthy podcast, going on like almost 3 years now. So, originally, when I created this podcast, it was called Anything But Average. And I did it right before COVID launched. And I did it for a couple of reasons. Number one, I wanted to bring positivity to the world because I think the world is just crazy and there's a lot of negative people out there, and that's just not me. So I did it to bring positivity to the world and also to interview people. So typically, I'm on here every week, Tuesdays, 12 o'clock Central, with somebody. I usually interview somebody. It's usually a friend of mine, somebody I'm in business with, somebody I collaborate with, somebody that inspires me, and somebody that I want to inspire you. They usually have a certain level of success, and I want to share their stories. I want to hear their stories, and I want you guys to be able to learn from how they got to where they are. And I think sharing is a big part of how you grow a business. And I think people that engage with others that have gone where they need to go or want to go, and then hear how they did it and then implement those things is an awesome thing to be able to do. I'm also very interested in people's stories. I love to interview people. It's one of my just passions. And the podcast was created called Anything But Average because I believe we are all anything but average. Like, my goal is to be the greatest version of me. One of my goals, not to be average. I wasn't put on this earth to be average. Neither were you. So when I named it Anything But Average, that was to bring you guys positivity every week. We went through probably the first year. And then actually when I launched it, I think it was like the month before COVID hit. And then I dedicated, I think it was the whole month of April to, normally I do this at 12 o'clock Central on Tuesdays. That month I was like, I'm going to do, it's either March or April. I'm going to do 30 days solid of the podcast at 9 a.m. I'm going to do it with a different person every day for the whole month straight, Sunday through Saturday. And I did. That was like commitment. That was a challenge because number one, it was like COVID had just come out and we were all like, what the hell is COVID? And everyone was locked in their houses, some people sick, some people not. So we're all learning like this new way of things. And I got somebody different on every day to bring inspiration and motivation in a world that was like, at that point, like totally freaked out. Like, what the hell is this? So then after 30 days of doing that, then I was like, let's go back to our normally scheduled program, which is Tuesdays at 12 o'clock. Then we renamed the podcast. So we did Walk Away, Anything But Average for probably a year, maybe a little over a year, probably a year and a half. I joined the Mission Matters Network, got inspired by them, their whole podcasting network, a media platform, just another network that I've gotten involved with, and people that are entrepreneurs and growing a business and want to scale and help others. And they use podcasting. So I became part of their network. So they were like, let's relaunch your podcast. We like the title, but let's relaunch it under a new name. So then we changed the name. We changed the marketing to Walk Away Wealthy. Wealthy in knowledge. Like, you're not going to get on here and be rich and learn how to be rich. You're going to get on here, I hope, and be educated and learn how to have knowledge in something, or how to have motivation in something, or how to be fired up, or how to know how to get through a tough time. Like, because we're all going through some tough times, right? Well, here we are, December 26th, 2023. It's the last Tuesday of 2023. So I opted to not have anyone on here other than me, as I wanted to reflect a little bit in like what happened in the last 12 months in my life and in our business, and what am I looking forward to or not looking forward to in 2024. And I usually spend the time from Christmas, which was yesterday, to New Year's, like the 2nd, reflecting on what the hell do I want to do differently? What am I going to implement going into the new year? So for me, I've worked out forever, and I work out in my home gym. And so usually at the first of every year, I'll start a new workout program, because you got to keep changing it up, right? And so I've been like researching, like, what do I want to do? Well, so I spend like this week practicing. Do I like this one? Is this something I can commit to? Because you should commit to a workout for like 12 weeks. Of course, there's different levels of that workout. So I practice. So I did it. I've now done it 3 times. And it's called Dig Deeper, right? It's weightlifting, because that's what I like to do. I like it. So now I'm committed. I've committed this morning. That's the third workout I've done on this series. I'm like, ooh, I like this. It is making me dig deeper. Check. Now I'm like, I know what I'm going to be launching as far as my fitness routine goes come first of the year. Now I'm going to start it right now, but I'm going to commit to the 12-week cycle first of the year because you got to go on a cycle. Business wise, what are we going to let go of? What are we going to focus on? So if you don't know, my name's Trisha Turner again, and I'm a real estate broker here in the Houston area. I've been in real estate for about 22 years. I've had my own independent brokerage. I've been at every big box company out there, Keller Williams, Remax, Coldwell Banker, Gary Green, discount broker, you name it, I've done it. Had my own independent brokerage, which was a total like nightmare. Never thought that would, like, what was I thinking? Switched over to EXP, was with EXP for about 5 years, had a mega team running with EXP. Loved my Honey Badger group that I was part of with EXP, still love them. They are my friends. And people have said things like, why did I leave EXP? It wasn't anything to do with EXP, number one. It was, here I am in the Houston area. I have a vision of what I want our life, our company, our team, our empire that we're building, everything. I know what it's going to look like. I see it. I see it clearly. And there were things that were getting in our way, obstacles that were getting in our way in the last year and a half. Became really hard for us to grow at the rate we needed to grow and be aligned with the people and the things that we needed to be aligned with. So Real Brokerage is who we switched over to about 4 months ago. And quite honestly, before we switched over, just because I wasn't happy with some of the things that we were doing here in Houston under the previous brokerage. And so I thought about going back independent, but I'm like, you never go back. Like even in relationships, going back, like it usually doesn't work. Like, why would you go back with that person? Y'all broke up for a reason, right? So just like going back independent, why am I going to go back in time? Not doing that. That's not the model. Well, Real Brokerage is very similar to EXP, just a couple of different variations. Opportunity though for us and what we are building here in Houston is like unheard of, and in Texas. Like you guys just watch 2024. Like I'm not even going into that right now. We're going to launch all kinds of crap. We're building an army of people that want to just change the world because that's what I want to do. So when I look back at like what did 2023, where were the letdowns? Like what were the things? Because here's what you can do. You can choose to focus on what happened to you, even though it could have been your choices, right? Or how you reacted to the things that were coming at you. You can choose to focus on that. Or you can look, because if you look super careful, a lot of those things that happened to you, there's probably silver linings in them. And had they not happened to you, you wouldn't be where you are today. That's going to set you up for an amazing 24. So in the real estate world, if you have been in the freaking hole in the ground and you don't know about interest rates like were at their highest that we'd seen in 2023 in years, like almost 20 years. In fact, the sales volume for October 2023 nationwide was the lowest that had been in 2 decades. That's a fact, okay? If you don't think that's different as far as income goes, it freaking is. When you've been in business for a certain amount of time, you're used to a certain set of income and sales volume and transactions and lifestyle, and all of a sudden things stop or change or come to a halt. Your money is still bleeding out, right? If you're a business owner, people cut their expenses down, of course, but you can only cut so much. You still have to sustain, right? So in June of 2022 is when we saw the first signs of the market shift. We saw interest rates start creeping up, right? By September 2022, they like came to a screeching halt. So fourth quarter 2022 sucked like crazy. Like you go from tons of closings to nothing. Listings sitting. Like for us, we stage our own listings. So money bleeding out. And we don't rent furniture, we own it. So we have warehouses now full of furniture, and we're acquiring more listings. Then we got to buy more furniture because we're not selling crap. Now we got to get more warehouse space because we got more furniture that's going to eventually come in. Like, when is this going to end, right? So we're going to go into 2023 and thinking, okay, surely this can't continue like this. But guess what? It's December 2023, and it's where we can see the light. Thank the Lord. But this 2023 for me, in my personal life, my company life, my financial, like, this has been a challenging year. I'm just being transparent with you. I've had money just bleeding out like crazy with our company. And it's not because of anything other than listings weren't selling, because sellers have a 2.8 interest rate or a 3.2 interest rate. And they're like, I'm not going to sell my house and go pay a 7.5% interest rate or 8 or even 7. And then you got buyers who are like, the housing industry is going to crash. I'm going to wait for the crash to happen so I can scoop up foreclosures. Well, that didn't happen, nor will it. And then they're like, I also am not going to pay an 8% interest rate. I'm going to wait for interest rates to come down. Well, thankfully they are. But there was like a period there where they were not, like up, down, up, down, up, down, but never down enough to inspire people to make a move. Everybody's like on the fence. But we as business owners, we're still like bleeding out money, bleeding out, bleeding out, bleeding out. It's the strong that survive, and not survive, but actually thrive. Because for me, I'm never going to quit. Like, I have a tattoo across my forearm that says, yes, you can. Because if you can do it, so can I. We all can. So it isn't a matter of this year sucked, let me go tuck my tail in and quit. No, I'm a fighter. So it's like, well, this year sucked. Now it's time to kick some ass in 2024. Here's the things we're not tolerating anymore. Here's some things we're not doing anymore. For me, it makes you stand up a little taller. It makes me work out a little harder. It makes me lift a little heavier weights. Because you know what? We made it through 2023. We got a few more days to go. We're there. Okay. Not only did our company survive, but we're actually thriving right now. We are one of the only teams that is just gathering up agents and listings like crazy because we believe in what we do. We know in our company, the Trisha Turner Group, we know that there's nobody that does what we do. We know that there's nobody that trains like we train. There's nobody that gives like we give. And there's nobody that believes like we believe. And so when I look back at 2023, I've now written all kinds of stuff. I have books everywhere. I have whiteboards everywhere that I write in. I know what we're focusing on for 24. Clearly, it's very clear in our company and what we will be doing. I know exactly what the end of 24 will look like. I can already see it. It's all being aligned. And what's super cool is this vision I created in my head 5 years ago. And there's like, I told a couple of people about it and they're like, holy crap, that's so cool. You got to make that happen. And I tried and I just couldn't get it to work. God said, not now, apparently. He kept closing those doors. But guess what? He's opening the doors now like crazy. They're opening and they're opening. And you're going to watch us launch a Sealy office at the end of January. You're going to watch us launch 2 other offices. Can't tell you where yet. First quarter. So that's 3. Our goal is to hit 5 partner offices in 2024. I already got 3 lined up. I only need 2 more for us to reach that goal. Guess what? We're going to not only reach that goal, we're going to surpass that goal. So you're going to see us in the real brokerage launching offices everywhere. Why? Because we believe in being together. We're better together. Like, I raised my hand and said, I'll help train these people. I don't want anybody to go through the darkness that I went through in my life. I don't want anyone to suffer through what I suffered with. Like, I will die helping you be successful. I will go to my grave, like giving my last dollar away and the shirt off my back to help somebody that I believe in. That's probably a weakness, I'm sure, because I like give and give and give because I believe and I have hope. I have hope in what we're doing, and I have hope in changing the world and making a difference. I'm not going to get derailed. I'm not going to get, smushed down in a bad market or in hard times. You know what? No one ever said it was going to be easy. It is freaking hard. It's hard to get up every day and fight for what you believe in. But guess what? With all the things that were set to break me, there's a lot of crap that came at me, especially the month of November. My car got stolen. Hey, guess what? I had a Z06. It was a race car. loved my car. Got stolen from Methodist Hospital parking lot while my son was in there fighting for his life. Isn't that a freaking like nightmare? You're in a hospital for 3 days with your son trying to make sure he lives, and you come out to your car that you loved being stolen right in front of like 3 cameras, 20 feet from the cameras. Really? Whatever. I mourned that. I was like in shock at first, and I mourned that. And then I drove a rent-a-car for 6 weeks. It's just all just happened, y'all. I went into a Nissan Armada, which if anyone knows me, knows I absolutely hate driving SUVs. So I go from a little Corvette to the biggest car I think they make, a houseboat. Hated that car. Every time I had to get in that car, it was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe my car got stolen. I can't believe I'm in this Armada. Got out of that Armada finally and ended up in a Nissan Altima, a base model Altima. The irony in all of this is hilarious. Actually, when I look back on it now, that which doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. Guess what I got for Christmas for myself? God was like, you know what? Your Z06 that you love got stolen because I had something better lined up for you. I got a 2023, the new Corvettes. It's new. It's outside right now. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's very unique. It's a very unique color. It's a very unique everything, which is what my Z06 was. So what I thought was meant to harm me and break me, because I was at a broken point watching my son fight like that and tried to survive and suffer like he was. So I was already weakened, in a weakened state. But then to lose my car, but then I shifted my focus and was like, you know what? God removed that car because it was about to blow up or catch on fire. Maybe it blew up on the person that stole it. That'd be okay too. So I got something better. So was this a struggle this year for your life? Like what, when you look back at, what were some of the struggles that you went through this year that now, if you think about it, because that happened and you're taking hopefully this week or whatever you do to set yourself up for success and reflecting on, I see now why that happened. I'm okay that that happened because yeah, it hurts and maybe it still hurts, or maybe there's an emptiness there or a hole or whatever that may be. But that happened because that door had to close in order to open this other one for 24, in order for you to score in 24, in order for you to soar in 24, whatever that may look like, whether it's your company that you're focused on, whether it's your personal life that you're focused on, whether it's your fitness that you're focused on, whether it's your family, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your spiritual relationship, what is that you need to focus on in 24? What are those things that you have to get crystal clear on in order to score in 24, in order to build your perfect life, in order to, at this time next year, not be going, damn it, I had another shitty year because I made more bad choices. Now is your time to reflect on, what am I going to do differently in 24 to make sure that I hit my goals, to make sure that I'm on the positive side of everything, to make sure that I'm not carrying any baggage with me into 24, to make sure that I'm building the life that I'm proud to get up and do every day. And I have inner peace and I'm excited and I'm happy and I'm fulfilled. And it's not about you, but it's about making a difference in someone else's life or someone else's lives, multiples. For me, my family and my company, the people in my life are top priority, period, hands down. And they all know it. Like I will fight for them. I will do anything for them. They know that. They are my why, because I said I would and I will. Because at the end of the day, I know that all of these things that maybe displeased me in 23 and drove me absolutely crazy or made me cry, and I don't cry often, so there's been a few things that made me cry this year. Those things happened because they had to happen. Not to break me, because they didn't break me, but so I can appreciate everything that I see that's in the light for 24. I see it clearly. So whatever you went through or are going through right now, Believe, number one, that this leave, number two, that you're going to have an amazing 2024. And believe in yourself. You have to. You have to believe in your own ability. And if you don't know like how to go about that, then surround yourself with people that will inspire you and show you. Read things, listen to things. Instead of listening to music, maybe listen to podcasts. Instead of not reading, maybe listen to an audible or read a book. Instead of not believing in God, how about having a conversation with him? Because he exists. I have too many things in my life that are only here and happening because he exists and because I believe. Without him, I am nothing. Without him, I would be nowhere. So I wish everybody an amazing end of 2023, an incredible 2024. This is going to be the last episode of Walk Away Wealthy. I'm going to take the month of January off. I'm working on a project and it will launch sometime in 2024, probably the early part of 24. The podcast will be relaunched as well in February, 1st of February, with a different name and a different focus. It's always about bringing positivity to the world. It's always about helping you get out of a dark place if you're in one, or take your business to the next level. And it's always about being together. That I believe in. So watch for the new name of the podcast. You'll see repeats. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on everywhere. Just look at Trisha Turner Group, look at Trisha Turner Properties. That was our independent company name years ago. Google those things, find us. Walk Away Wealthy and Anything But Average has been running for 3 years. So tons and tons of interviews. No one knew that today was going to be the last episode. I didn't know that today was going to be the last episode until this morning. I just prayed about it. He spoke. So, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Make it an amazing thing. Hashtag everything. Score in 24. That's what you're going to do. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make it happen. And I'll see you guys next year. Bye.